Hi, my name is Laura Fales and I'm the Food Service Director for USD 320. And I am so thrilled to be partnering with the Wamego Public Library for another series of Cooks and Books videos. We're going to have a lot of fun these next few weeks and a sneak peek of all of the ingredients that we'll be using. We'll have 4 recipes and I hope that you will join us each week in June. Good afternoon, everybody. Today we're going to be making sunny honey granola. It doesn't require very many ingredients, but there is a little bit of baking, so it might be good to have a grown-up helping you today with the oven. Our books today are all about bees. We have a pre-reader, Buzz Bee. The next book is actually 3 books because they go well together. Be Still, Be Calm, and Be Heartful. This is all about mindfulness. And then if you want to learn more about keeping your own bees, there's a great book on beginning beekeeping. And if you get even more adventurous, here is the bee-friendly garden, things that you can plant that will attract and sustain bee colonies. So I hope that you will check those out. So our recipe today calls for rolled oats, sunflower seeds, slivered almonds, coconut, oil, raisins, honey, and some nonstick spray. One note about the rolled oats. This is not oatmeal like you would cook like instant oatmeal. Rolled oats are kind of the whole thing. So you want to make sure at the grocery store that that's what you're looking for. It is in a separate container and it's going to say rolled oats. Now here at the school district, we get our rolled oats in 50-pound bags. You don't have to buy 50 pounds. There'll be much smaller boxes available at the grocery store. Okay, let's get started with our recipe. So the first thing that we're going to do is combine all of our dry ingredients. So get your measuring spoons out, and we will start with the rolled oats. So we need 2 cups of our rolled oats. Shake it down to even it out. Put those in our pan. Then we need a 1/2 cup of the slivered almonds. And these are just almonds that have been cut into slices. We call them slivered. And then we need a 1/2 cup of sunflower seeds. And we need a 1/2 cup of our coconut. And these are all of our dried ingredients. So we're going to give those a little stir to mix them up together. You can use a regular tablespoon for this. Since we're such a big kitchen, we only have big spoons. Okay, that's nice and mixed together. We're going to set that aside for just a minute while we mix our wet ingredients in a separate bowl. I've already measured out the 1/2 cup of oil, so we'll put that in. And then I'm going to use the same liquid measuring cup to measure the honey. And that's okay to do because it's all going into the same place. And that oil that we measured first will help us get all the honey out of this container. And this just takes a little bit of time to squeeze all this out. See, now at your house, you have your honey already measured, so you're just having to pour yours straight into your bowl. Okay, think how hard those bees have to work to make all that honey. Delicious. All right, then we're going to add our honey to our oil that's already in the bowl. And like I said, because we did the oil first, that honey is a lot easier to get out of there. As you guys all know, honey is super sticky and doesn't always like to cooperate. Okay, I want to get all that off of there that I can. Now the recipe doesn't say to do this, but I find it helpful to use a whisk for this part because you can see how the honey and the oil are staying very separate, and we want it to all come together. So a whisk is a good tool to make that happen. You just stir it up. Now, if you don't have a whisk at home, you can use a spoon, you could use a fork. You just want to make sure, see how the color has changed? And now you're seeing not separated oil and honey, it's all together. Okay, so now what we're ready to do is to add our wet ingredients to our dry ingredients. So we're going to pour that over. Sorry, I know I'm blocking. And I'm going to use my spatula again to make sure that I'm getting every little bit of our honey mixture out of there. And then I'm going to take our big spoon again and combine our dry ingredients with our wet ingredients. And can you see how the oats are starting to look a little bit like they're wet? Well, that's because they're getting coated with that oil and honey. And you want to mix them until you see that all of those dry ingredients look a little bit wet. And then you know you've mixed it all up together. Okay, that looks good. So this mixture is going to have to go into the oven and bake for a little bit. So to prepare our sheet pan for that, or your cookie sheet, we call them sheet pans in the kitchen, we're going to spray that with a little nonstick spray. Again, if you don't have any nonstick spray at home, you can use regular table oil, put a little on a paper towel, and wipe that all over your pan so you have a little bit of coating on there. Now we're going to put our granola mixture onto our pan. And we want to really spread it out. Now I'm using a spoon because remember we just said how sticky honey is. You could use your hands if you have clean hands to spread it out, but a lot of this is going to stick right to your fingers. So I would definitely use a spoon, spread it all out. And we want to make sure we get every delicious bit. So I'm going to use my spatula to do that. Okay, now we're ready for the oven. This is going to go into an oven that's been preheated to 300 degrees, and it has to cook for 20 to 30 minutes. What you want to look for is that it's all starting to turn golden brown. So let's go put these in the oven. Remember to have a grown-up help you with the oven. Our oven has been preheated. We're going to slide that in. Make sure we shut it really well and then set the timer. I'm going to do 25 minutes since the recipe calls for 20 to 30. And we'll check it when it gets out of the oven. Well, our oven buzzer went off. Let's take a look at our granola. Got my hot pad mitts on. Be sure to close the oven. Okay, now the last step is for us to add the raisins. I bet you thought I'd forgotten about the raisins, but I haven't. So we've got our bowl here, and we will put all of our granola, let me move that over here just a little bit for you guys. There you go. Put our nicely browned granola carefully into the bowl. This obviously has lots of little bitty pieces that could go everywhere. So if you need help, be sure to ask for help so that all this deliciousness ends up in the bowl and not on the floor. All right. Now, if you are not a big fan of raisins, that is okay. You can eat this granola without raisins. You could put in craisins instead of raisins. They also make golden raisins, which are made out of green grapes, and they taste just a little bit different than a regular raisin, and so you find they're a little bit softer. You might find that you like that. The craisins, of course, are going to be a lot sweeter, but you can play with that and see which dried fruit you like the best. So we're going to add our 1/4 cup of raisins. Here we go. And obviously, if you like raisins a lot, you could add a lot more raisins if you wanted to. We're going to mix all this together, and we have some delicious, healthy, sunny honey granola. This is perfect for snacks. If you're going to the park or out for a bike ride, put some in a little Ziploc, take it along with you. It's also really delicious on top of yogurt and maybe even ice cream. So I hope that you enjoy your sunny honey granola, and we'll see you at the library. See you in the lunch line.